Hello and welcome to Recharge Wrestling. We're here to plug you into the world of professional wrestling. I'm Fisher and I'm here with Keeney.
Hey guys.
This is our AEW podcast, so we'll be reviewing Rampage and Dynamite from this past week. If you haven't ever seen our show before, this is the way we're doing it now. We've got content from WWE and AEW, so check out our YouTube channel, like and subscribe on there, Recharge Wrestling. Follow us on Twitter at Recharge Wrestle for more sort of details on that. So let's get straight into it, I suppose. So we'll talk about Rampage first, as that happened last Friday, a little while ago now, to remember everything that happened. But let's go through what happened on Rampage and talk about what we liked and didn't like. Let's
start with the opener. Eddie Kingston and Konosuke Takeshita.
Takeshita.
Yeah, don't want to mess up his surname. A really good match, actually.
Yeah, this was a banger of a match. I've put on my notes.
Lovely, brutal match. I mean, I'm always impressed by Takeshita.
I think he's amazing. I keep saying it every week. He impresses me more and more. I love him. I think he's great.
He is one they could definitely.
He had 2 matches this week, and both of them are really good. I don't know if he is signed
because he did appear this week a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're really. I mean, we'll mention them more when we get to Dynamite match, but they really put him over in commentary as well of how good he is, especially Regal. But this match against Kingston was really, really good. I like that Kingston was still selling his injuries as well. That was good. But Takeshita, I'd say, so impressive. Really likes his suplex the outside. There's loads of near falls and kickouts in this match. And then it ended up basically with one man just falling on top of the other man.
It's
loads of strikes, and Eddie just kind of panicking and getting an elbow strike in, spinning elbow, and then falling onto Takeshita. But yeah, really good. And then Kingston cut a fire promo afterwards, demanding a one-on-one match with Jericho in a barbed wire ring.
Yeah, that's going to be mad. Chris Jericho his age and barbed wire ring matches is mental. Mental. Sorry, this is my voice. We had a tag match, which honestly I don't remember much of. Lee Moriarty and Jonathan Gresham be the Gates of Agony, which are Tua, Leona, and Korn.
Khan, yeah.
Khan.
I think it's pronounced Khan, yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading them off paper, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I've not seen the first guy before. I think he's just a Ring of Honor guy, but Khan I have seen briefly. I think he's been on AWTV once or twice.
Yeah, these are part of the Tully Blanchard Enterprise.
Yeah, so they attacked Moriarty and Gresham before the match, but the thing was Gresham turning heel. He left Moriarty in the ring, shook Tully Blanchard, hugged him and then shook his hand, and joined Tully Blanchard Enterprises, which makes them, I think, a much more interesting group than it was before. I know they got Brian Cage as well, but he doesn't do much. For them to have Jonathan Gresham is quite cool.
Maybe the group I know the least about in AW.
They're a Ring of Honor group.
I don't know these guys, and I don't know have we seen these two before on AWTV? Other than that backstage thing.
Count was signed probably about a year ago, I'd say. I think he had one appearance on Dynamite or Rampage, and then he's just wrestled on Dark, but he's been on the AEW roster for a while.
Okay, because these are just two guys I just don't know at all.
Yeah,
I thought they both looked alright actually from memory, and I don't remember much.
The other guy I don't know at all. But yeah, Paul Lee Moriarty just.
But again, to create a stable with these two, with Brian Cage, who we haven't seen on TV for a long time, and we haven't actually seen him do anything since he's been put in the group, and then to have Jonathan Gresham, who again I don't know much about, if anything. Like, it's just a group that I just don't know. It doesn't feel like an AW stable to me.
No, it's more, like I said, it's more for the Ring of Honor shows, isn't it? Which is fine. They do a lot of Ring of Honor based stuff on Rampage now. They're kind of using it as half Dynamite, half AW, half Ring of Honor, I think. And we got a bit more of that in the next match, actually, with Serena Deeb and Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez, of course, being the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Deeb's been used a lot.
Well, they've got a match, haven't they? Honor No More, whatever their pay-per-view is called.
Yeah, so they had a tag team match here. Deeb quickly tapped I can't even remember the girl's
Christina
names.
Marie.
That's it. Yeah, tapped her out, but then Deeb attacked Martinez afterwards and got on the Serenity lock.
Deeb held the lock in, and Martinez pushed her off. And then we got a little bit afterwards. So that kind of
I called this happening.
Was the match announced before this match? Was it announced after this?
After, I think.
After, yeah.
Because it was based on this.
Yeah.
I called it a couple of weeks ago that this would happen. It looked like it was going to be set up. And then the main event, Tony Nese in the main event match against Orange Cassidy. They're using Tony Nese quite well at the moment, I think.
They are actually, yeah. He's getting used.
I think with a lot of the people that are injured and that, like he's getting opportunities to wrestle.
And it helps he's got a manager. The one thing he never had on WWE TV was a manager. He just was himself, and I think he struggles.
He's not the most charismatic person, is he? He's a great wrestler.
No, he's very grey. Like doesn't really do much great or terrible. Just doesn't do much. So to have a manager with him, and Sterling's a decent manager. He's did well with Dade before. This match was good. Kind of a what you'd expect to Cassidy win against Nese. This again was to get Cassidy to sign a contract to get Swerve banned from.
Yeah, the stipulation was very random.
I don't remember why they're upset with Swerve, but I'm sure there's a reason behind this.
But yeah, I liked the involvement here. It was a comedy match as well. It was some good wrestling, but obviously there was the comedy side of it. Mark Sterling getting in, Danhausen involvement as well. He proper hits Sterling in the dick. Curses Tony Nese. Orange hits the punch and wins. Sterling got him with his clipboard originally. But yeah, it was a good fun main event. I think Takeshita Kingston was a much better match.
100%, yeah.
Out of the two on the show, the opener was the best match, but this and probably should have been the main event in all honesty. Which obviously
really into Cassidy, aren't they?
The only criticism I have of the Takeshita Kingston thing, and we'll get on to it's a good segue on to Dynamite, was obviously set him up for a championship contenders match basically with Moxley, but he lost here. So he lost and then gets a shot at the champion, and if he beats the champion, he gets a shot. It was a bit of a weird way to do it.
I think that's stupid. Yeah.
That aside, because if WWE do that, we'd slaughter it. So we got to do it.
I didn't even cross my mind.
If AEW do it as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is terrible.
He lost, and then gets the championship contenders match on the back of it. And then
should have had him win really.
Yeah, I know you're building to Kingston Jericho. They were kind of booked into a corner booking the match, I suppose. Which they don't often do that. They don't often book themselves into a corner.
They could have done the same finish, just Takeshita landed on Kingston. Because Takeshita, again, he lost, but he didn't lose much by losing because it wasn't
I suppose,
comprehensive defeat. It's basically a draw, and one of them happened to land on the other one.
So let's segue onto the match on Dynamite. Well, on Fyter Fest, actually, officially.
Oh, yeah, Fyter
Fest. Fyter Fest Night 1. So this was just randomly in the middle of the card as well, which was a bit odd for the AEW Championship. But they did have the tag team title match on there, and obviously with what was to come with the title change, I understand now why this was. Because at first I was like, why is this in the mid card? But yes, this again was a really good match.
So good.
I think we said last week as well, John Moxley, when was the last time he had a match he doesn't bleed in or there's blood in? There was blood everywhere in this match, biting, quite vicious. But like I said before, the commentary from Regal was great here as well, putting Takeshita over.
Really did, yeah.
That dive, and he did a Hurricane Rana and then a dive as well, Takeshita in this match, which was great. Frog Splash, he got a near fall from as well. And there was a bit as well where Mox hit the paradigm shift, goes for a second one, counters it into a suplex and got near fall of that, but ended up obviously losing again here to Takeshita. So the thing is, he does lose a lot. And he loses the Bulldog choke.
Lost every match he's had, hasn't he? Basically.
Yeah. But I feel like they're building to. I feel like they might build to something with him.
I want him to be on their roster permanently and just use him.
I think he's very, really good.
What if that? Okay, maybe Ospreay aside, my favorite New Japan star they've shown us.
Yeah. He was someone I knew nothing about as well. Whereas a lot of the other guys that have come in recently from New Japan or even from Ring of Honor, I've known the ones that have impressed me, I've known about already. So yeah, this was different for him. I really enjoyed that match as well. Two really good matches back to back. Two defeats, but like I said, I don't think that matters too much.
No, he still had a good show, and I think they mentioned after the match that kind of just reminded us about CM Punk being the actual champion in the match, and Regal was like, I hope CM Punk's ready to go to war with Moxley, which is going to be a great match when that's.
Because I think Moxley will definitely keep it until Punk's back. I don't see him losing it. I don't see what the point would be. So yeah, I think keep it on him and then do that against each other.
That is a huge match. Moxley and Punk. That's huge. That was good, big as they can do, almost right up there. So
yeah, especially with like dual champion thing. It's like really big.
Really.
Let's go back to sort of the start of Dynamite and
the
talk
TNT.
So Orange Cassidy had another match as well off the back of his obviously match on Rampage. He opened the show here against Wardlow. What did you make of that one?
Good. I mean, we got an interesting spot where Wardlow ripped Cassidy's pocket.
Yeah, I like that.
Which is quite a cool. Never seen that before. And again, Wardlow caught Danhausen under the ring as well. So he wasn't being a stupid babyface, which we've seen on WWE. Yeah. I mean, one thing I will say is Orange kicked out of the F10 or whatever Wardlow's like big move, which I was a bit. I'm not sure about that as a decision. I think. So I think they said no one kicked out of that before.
Yeah, but he doesn't use it as his finisher, does he? Because he uses the Powerbomb Symphony. So
yeah, it's just
it's weird that they even
Cassidy
brought it up.
To be the one to kick out of the move for the first time.
To be honest, if they hadn't brought it up, I wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the fact they mentioned it was what did me. But it ended up with Wardlow over Powerbomb and got the victory to retain. Again, odd pairing for you don't often see a face and face, and again, two guys that you don't really want either of them to lose. I don't think where they book Cassidy, but there was a little show for spectacle.
I think Orange is one of those guys that can lose and it doesn't hurt him because he's kind of got that comedy character feel to him as well. And it is to Wardlow, like who's an absolute beast. So the
only thing I didn't like about this match was before the match, the best friend saying they're gonna cheat, and then they had like a chainsaw at one point. It's all
they got ejected for chainsaw. Yeah, they got ejected for having the chainsaw. I didn't mind the promo before the match, but the chainsaw split bit, I didn't really get.
It wasn't.
I like the show of respect. There was a show of respect afterwards from Wardlow to Cassidy. I like that, which you want in your babyface title matches.
And I'm happy for Wardlow to just keep defending every week.
Yeah, and keep winning. Keep winning.
Yeah, TV champ.
I like that when they do.
Jade Cargill did, but she hasn't defended for a little while. Jade Cargill.
No, and she never. The problem is as well, she didn't defend against people that are very good a lot of the time.
And she also never defended on Dynamite either.
No,
it was always on Rampage.
But yeah.
Go on.
Chris Jericho was up next, wasn't he? Good promo here from Jericho. I like the fact he came out just on his own. It was like man-to-man promo with Eddie. It wasn't none of the other guys getting involved, talking nonsense kind of stuff. It was a very serious, straight to the point promo, responding to that Eddie Kingston promo from Rampage, basically. He did go a little bit far on it here. I like the fact he said he's bringing the Paymaker, which is obviously a good gimmick. But he did talk about Eddie will go back to drinking and drugs and use his mental health as an excuse after he beats him. That bit was a bit savage
as an excuse. Yeah, I'm not sure he should be bringing up depression like as a.
That
like,
bit. I know he's a heel, so it's going to get booed. But it did feel like people didn't like that bit. I don't know why, but
just doesn't need this storyline. Doesn't need him to mock depression. It just
no.
It's a line they cross. They didn't need to cross. In my opinion. They do it a lot. AEW.
It's going to be a savage match next week inside the paint. The barbed wire everywhere. They're calling it barbed wire everywhere, aren't they? So I don't know exactly what it's going to be.
Bloody as anything.
Yeah.
What I did like there was Kingston then had a promo where he was like, "Oh, you get a 10-minute promo and I only get like 30 seconds or something."
Yeah.
I do quite like that. He kept saying "My Ruby" as if like do Kingston and Ruby so have like a close relationship? They obviously do, but It's not been established on TV. It's just
I don't think it's been established enough.
Another one of those things that we're just meant to know. I just don't know how we're meant to know Kingston and Ruby Soho are good friends. They just do this a lot where they assume we know or whatever. But yeah, just like Kingston's retort afterwards.
Yeah, it's a really fiery promo. Kingston's promos are brilliant, aren't they? Then we got a little House of Black promo. And the thing I noticed here is, where is Buddy Matthews? Where's he gone?
I think he's injured, isn't he?
He must be, because
but I don't know why he's not. I don't know why he can't be in the background in a promo, but yeah.
Odd. Yeah, I just randomly noticed his absence. And then we got Christian and it just saw us, who are the highlights at the moment, really, of the show. And I loved this. And what I loved about this is the use of Griff Garrison, because he looks like Jungle Boy. They got annoyed.
Yeah, that was good.
That was a perfect person to use in this role here. I thought it was genius. I thought this is actually a bit genius. I like it when they do things like that, because he does look like Jungle Boy.
He does, yeah.
And obviously they hate Jungle Boy, so they're just like. And I love the way Christian sort of played on it as well. He's like, Luchasaurus, who does he remind you of? And then Luchasaurus like gets down to the ring and just beats the crap out of him. Nice choke slam as well.
Squashing people, yeah.
I think they botched the first one a little bit because it didn't break. The choke slam on the table, it happens. He choke slams Griff onto Pillman through the table. Didn't break the first time, but yeah, quick squash match.
But again, though, what we got at the end of the match, just going back slightly, was a couple of choke slams by Luchasaurus, but then hitting that submission for the victory. So again, I've mentioned it before, these heels, when their character changes, to add a new move to their repertoire, to
he's definitely a bit more presented differently. I like that. And everything he's doing is wrestling style, everything. He's one of my favourite acts in AEW, Luchasaurus. Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah, him and Christian together as an act.
It's perfect. It's perfection.
And I again, Christian's promos here very savage as well. Called Brian Pillman average. He was like, your dad's meant to be a legend. He's average. Oh, yeah. he's not like a 4-time world champion like me. And it's just really, really good stuff. It wasn't as savage as some of his previous ones, but still pretty savage. From Christian, really good stuff.
Yep. Then we got a match between Claudio Castagnoli and Jake Hager, the former what's that tag team called?
We the People. It's called
I don't think that was their name.
No, it wasn't. It was the Real Americans, wasn't it?
The Real Americans, yeah. From WWE. So again, they're going back to history that happened not in the company, which I'm not a massive fan of, and I'd rather they.
The thing is, I don't mind it with WWE stuff because I know.
Well, yeah, no, this is fine because we know this, but most people will know this. But it's just
you heard loud "We the People" chants.
Yeah, if I'm going to get annoyed when they big up history that from shows I don't watch, I have to be the same.
I guess so.
I have to be fair, but
I don't mind if they explain it. They did explain it a bit more.
Yeah, going back to WWE, we got a Swiss 1-9 from Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah,
which I remember we saw in person and had a little laugh about. Cesaro trying a 6-1 and messing up.
Yeah, he didn't do it on TV really, did he?
He hit a 6-1-9 here on Hager, which was I was it's Swiss 1-9.
This match was decent enough. Hager looked all right here. I'm not a massive fan of Hager, but he looked okay. Claudio's great.
Well, the thing is, I think he's a good opponent because he's not someone you need to protect, and he's someone who feels like it's an achievement to beat Jake Hager. Yeah. So I think he's a good person for.
And we got a couple of really impressive power spots, particularly the finish. It's like a huge powerbomb style move on a man.
Or in the swing at the start of the match.
And the swing.
One game around. That's something. Again, I know a lot of that is Hager as well. Krusty would tell us, but it is still impressive.
Yeah, and this match was I enjoyed this match just because I know the background and I thought it was decent, and I love watching Claudio wrestle anyway. Obviously he got the win, which is fine, and
right decision. Yeah. Then we got an interview, or we got a little one with Hook, who didn't say anything. Just if he wanted the title shot.
I didn't even write that down because it's the same thing every time. I like Hook, but it's the same thing every time. Yeah. I love him when he's wrestling in the ring.
There's basically nothing to say on
his
that.
interview thing is getting boring.
Yeah.
And talking of getting boring.
What's boring?
Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter again with Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. We don't need to see.
Yeah. So we got Thunderstorm. which I like. I like the name, and they've got merch now. And they've Thunderstorm.
Yeah, I like them being together. I've got no problem with that. I think there's a slow burn there you can do with Tony turning on Thunder Rosa too.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of that. And again, AEW won't. If you listen to our WWE podcast, I spoke about NXT. They won't break them up in 2 weeks and then have one of them turn on the other one. They'll slow burn this, which is good. But yeah, I just don't want to see these four. I rolled my eyes when Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter came in. I don't want to do that because I like them, but I was like, these guys have just been. It feels like they're the only 4 women in AEW. That's my problem with it. Like, come on, move them on.
Yeah, no, I do actually agree with that. Looks like we're getting a tag match coming up. I don't know if that's been.
Speaking of 2 other women that are in AEW, we got a women's match next in the usual spot, didn't we?
Yep, this is the women's match spot. Yeah, Anna Jay and Serena Deeb. Again, Anna Jay's a hard person to get behind because they've just never.
I like what they did after the match with her, which we'll get to in a minute. I liked that. The match itself,
yes, yeah,
wasn't a lot to it. Anna Jay is okay in the ring. It's always going to be.
She held a Serenity lock in for a bit too long. Mercedes Martinez came down.
And this is quite obvious what was
basically the same spot from Rampage.
Yeah, and Mercedes come down and made the save. But what I did like, that wasn't the bit I was on about after the match. I liked the bit that I was on about was when Anna Jay was in a medical room.
Yeah. And
Tay Conti comes in. They have a little dig at each other, and especially Tay was like, "You're never on TV," and then she was like, "At least I'm not smashing Ruby Soho's arm in a car or whatever she said back." But then Tay Conti was basically like, "I like you, and you're wasting your career. You need to have a think about what you're doing." Basically, hinting to her to come and join her. I think in the Jericho Appreciation Society. I mean, it would be something for Anna Jay. Anna Jay needs to do something else because she's doing nothing. So,
yeah, no, she is doing nothing.
And it'll give Tay Conti a bit more of a direction as well if she has.
Yeah, although I feel like we're moving towards a Conti Ruby Soho feud, so I don't know if Anna Jay fits into that. But
you can have heels and 2 outnumbered Soho if they did team together. Then you could have Soho bring someone else in. I don't know, but I liked what they did here anyway.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that, actually. Again, because it's one of those things, they've kind of separated them but never really mentioned them being separated. So it's nice.
And Tay Conti was right. Anna Jay's not been on TV. I've barely seen her.
Yeah, I actually agreed with Conti more than I did with Anna Jay, actually. I was like, actually, Conti, you got a point.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Then our main event.
Yeah, we got through that very quickly, actually. But the main event was worth saving some time.
What was the match called again?
So it's called Triple or Nothing, wasn't it?
Triple or Nothing. Yeah.
So play on their Double or Nothing pay-per-view, triple threat match. And this would be AEW-wise my top mark of the week. And maybe my top mark overall, like I said, I gave, if you listen to the WWE one, I did give something from Raw, my top mark. But this probably should have got it really in terms of the quality of the match here was really, really good. And it genuinely surprised me that Swerve and Our Glory won. And I like it. It's not a surprise I dislike. It's not a surprise I dislike either. I think
it's one of those where it's really what's good. We mentioned actually with your other top mark that things that throw me that I'm not expecting, and I'm just confused. I'm intrigued, and this is another one where I thought, well, they won't win it because they've been, bickering a bit, and there's been a bit of unrest, and maybe they're going to split up. And now they've won the title. It's just like, oh, what happens next? Same with the NXT main event. There's a few times this week where things have happened which I didn't quite expect to happen when it happened. And this is another one where it kind of threw me a bit that they won. I was not expecting it at all. But I'm not against it. I'm not against them.
I really like them because I don't think I know we were kind of, people thought we were building to Young Bucks FTR again, but we don't really need that. And I don't think the Young Bucks necessarily need the belts anyway.
I mean, FTR are winning belts left, right, and centre, so maybe it would have worked.
You can do it for the FTR's belts. You don't need to necessarily throw the AEW tag belts in as well. But Swerve and Our Glory, I think, have just grown and grown and grown as a tag team. I think their double moves are fantastic.
I love Swerve jumping off Keith Lee's chest.
I like the finishes they do as well, because of the stomp and stuff. Yeah, they've really grown, and they got a massive pop when they won.
They did. And can I tell you my MVP of this match? I don't know if you're going to agree with me. But I thought Powerhouse Hobbs
I knew you were
was
going to say that.
superb in this match. Yeah,
He was great.
Again, someone I've seen a lot from. He's been in AEW almost from the start, and I've never been this impressed. I've always thought he's quite good, and he does a role, but someone that I don't think about very much, but he really impressed me here.
His frog splash was so good.
Yeah, just amazing.
A man of that size
maybe want to
doing a
see
frog
him
splash
more.
like that was.
I just want to see more of Hobbs. Hobbs and Starks. Maybe we get Hobbs and Starks the Swerve and Our Glory tag team title match coming down the line. I don't know. Who knows where they go next with Swerve and Our Glory? Who knows where they go next with the Young Bucks?
So it's interesting because, like you said, they've been teasing the split, but then they won the title. So I think what they could have, their storyline. I mean, to be fair, Keith Lee last week said, you annoyed me, but we keep winning. And I think their storyline is going to be that they don't really like each other that much, but when they wrestle together, they win. So they're just going to keep winning until they lose, and then they'll probably split straight away. I don't see them being a tag team for like 2-3 years down the line. I think both guys have got so much individual potential as well that you can split them and do that. But I think a good start for them, because I don't think Keith Lee's winning the AEW World title anytime soon. I don't think Swerve's winning the TNT title, for example. It could.
I think that they could both be.
They could both do it, but I don't think right now is the right time for them to win it, because you've got Wardlow, you've got other people. So I think having them win the tag titles, I know there's loads of other tag teams in AEW, but I think it's the right time, honestly. I think there being no Hardy Boys, Jurassic Express have split. Obviously, you've got the Young Bucks. The FTR are doing their own thing with all these other belts. I mean, there's obviously, Santana and Ortiz, one of them's injured, isn't he?
There was no other FTR this week, was there?
No, which is weird.
Been on TV a lot recently. Got good, basically every week, haven't they? But not on TV. This week.
They always have a segment or a match somewhere along the line, but they didn't this week. But yeah, really, really took me by surprise. This did. But yeah, I agree with you on Hobbs. I thought this was a really good showing for him. Ricky Starks is always great. The Young Bucks in a tag team match.
I think all six of them were great. I also, I think all six of them were superb in this.
And the match was really, really good. The match was excellent.
It was. It's just one of those matches where it got a bit mental. Like I don't know who was legal, what was going on.
Now I did see something online where Ricky Starks wasn't the legal man when he took the pin, and I don't know if it was a botch or if it was intended.
I mean, it's very hard to keep a track of. I don't know who's keeping a track of who's legal, because it is very tough to know.
I didn't know that until someone posted.
Because who knows when tags are being made, and all six are in the ring basically the whole time, or they're jumping in, and it's just I can't keep a track of who's meant to be in, especially in the triple threat match where only two of the teams are legal at the time. So I don't know which of the teams are legal and which of the people from the teams.
Yeah, I'd prefer if three were, I guess.
But this is an AEW tag team kind of. This is what they do in tag team matches. They just throw everyone in the ring at certain points, and they don't really worry too much about worrying about who's legal.
Unless it's FTR wrestling. If FTR are wrestling, you get tag team perfection with the rules, everything. And that's what I like about
I want for my tag team matches. I love these matches. If this match was like if it was an Extreme Rules match or a steel cage or anything, a tornado tag match essentially, any kind of tag match, I would have preferred it. But I got really confused at one point, and I was like, I don't know who's legal or what's going to happen.
I get what you're saying. I mean, I was popping for the action, but I do get what you're saying.
But the wrestling itself was insanely good.
Yeah.
As like always is with Young Bucks. It's always...
Yeah, there was one bit where they tried to do the Meltzer driver, and Keith Lee caught one of them in midair as well. That was some lovely...
Some insane strength.
Dives and some gymnastic style stuff at the start from Swerve and Nick Jackson, where they were like countering each other, and then they did at the same time. There were so many good bits. There was also the Young Bucks as well, nearly won by cheating at one point. They did a low blow. Matt did a low blow, and there was a ref bump. He got back up and 2 count. If I knew there wasn't some of the show left and that was the main event, I would have thought that was winning then. But yeah, I was genuinely shocked when the pin happened, which happened to be so Swerve did the dive off Keith's chest, which we mentioned. Then Swerve got back in the ring. Keith did a dive to the outside, a mad dive to the outside.
Yeah.
Then Swerve got back in, did his stomp on Ricky Starks. I was a bit bummed Ricky Starks took pin, but it doesn't. I guess someone
has to win this
Someone
match.
had to.
Yeah.
I just feel like Ricky Starks deserves a bit better, but
it's just who would you, if you're going to have Swerve and No Glory win, who would you have take the pin?
I guess you take one of the Bucks to have the pin because they're the champs. But
yeah, but I guess they're going to want
a rematch, aren't they?
Yeah, they're gonna. I think they purposely had a triple threat match. So Bucks didn't get pinned. I think that's
You're probably right. That's probably why they did do it.
So it had to be one of Starks.
Like I say, Starks and Hobbs don't feel like necessarily a tag team. They feel like two individual guys.
Yeah.
So I guess you can have Starks take that pin. Yeah, but like I said, it was a really good match. Fighter Fest got off to a bit of a good start there. Some big matches. We've got. So they're doing it week 1 now. So they're including Rampage, aren't they? So Rampage has more Fighter Fest. And then next week, obviously, we've got the big Jericho Kingston blow-off match. I can't remember what else is planned for next week, but I'm sure there'll be some other good stuff and big things planned.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. So I don't have anything. No, I don't. I have no idea what's going on in the rest of Fighter Fest. But that, I do know is it for us this week. As mentioned by Fisher at the start of the pod, if you have not checked out our WWE Weekly Review, check it out. It's on our YouTube channel. It will be on where you get your podcasts from. Just search for Recharge Wrestling on YouTube and on your podcast apps. Also follow us on Twitter, where we will tweet out whenever anything drops that we produce. It will be on our Twitter feed. We have a predictions league, and we're just always interested in talking wrestling with you guys. There's 3 of us here. There's 2 of us here now, but there's 3 of us here at Recharge, and we're all eager to talk wrestling. So if any of you just want to chat wrestling with us, just feel free to send a message, comment. You know, there's a few ways to get in contact with us. So don't hesitate with that. But that is it for this week. We're going to go away and recharge ahead of another big week of wrestling, and we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye.